Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, April 15th. We are looking at the market profile of the SPY ETF here on windotrader. And first things first, as you can see, all the way up, we had another bad tick today, all the way up at 284, 283.94. Remember, we had one yesterday, which was about $10 lower, $275 and change from where we were trading. Well, guess what? We got it today. So I'm not saying it happens that day or the next day or the next week, but they eventually get hit. But the high for today in SPY is 279.59, okay? Just so you know, if you just look at your charts, or it's going to show a wrong POC, it's going to show a wrong high today because it distorts everything, okay? Very, very interesting day today. And for me, not the easiest day in the world to trade. I had a good day. However, I did not make a trade after I period because after that, things got a little conflicting for me with information. The gap holds in the SPY. You would not have thought it would have held after H, J, K, and L did their little dance. I figured we got that close. We're at least going to fill the gap, right? I don't know if they want anything more out of it, but we didn't do that. We do N9 wide, but it takes a flush out in M period to get there. Sellers, just like on Monday, had a chance to do damage and could get nothing done after the first 5 or 6 time frames. We had a chance for a trend day down in B. That got filled right away. We had a chance for a trend day up in K. I think it was K, yes. And that got filled right away. So a lot of conflicting info. Gap held. Value lower, indices down all day, about 2% or more. However, the POC was raised throughout the day. We never made a new low after C period. We actually made 4 new highs from our original high in A. So we took out both the initial balance low and high, and then closed almost in the middle at a very, very visual point just below that 278 level, which on the monthly is right at that 11-year trend line. So we certainly knew who we were trading against today, although they acted a little schizophrenic, I think, late in the day. Volume horrible, 114 million. So we're down 2%, over 2% in the SPY, yet the volume's 114 million, and with the after hours, we'll be lucky to do 118, 120. So again, are these the laggards pushing lower? We're not sure. I'm not sure. I certainly know one thing. It's not long-term sticky money selling this. As far as opportunities today, so in A period, I said I am not going to do anything initially, and I didn't because we're opening up in a big gap. Once we got above the opening and below it, and we had not filled this gap yet, that's when I figured that gap's going to fill. I took a short. I waited for some market-generated information. Below the opening, down, fill the gap, got out of the trade. I did another short in B. When B came, took out A's low, took another short to see how much of M period we're going to take out. I said there was a good chance we're going to trade inside of M period's range from the 13th and get to the bottom of it. Now, we never got to the bottom of it, but we traded 6 time frames inside of that M range. So that was pretty important to see and note. So I took a short in B. Then I didn't do anything in C, right? C came down, looked like it was going to have single prints. It did have singles. They got filled right away. D period inside bar. E period started. We were back and forth. When we finally got back into the not initial balance, we were already in it, but when we got back inside A's range, I took a long, and we finally stopped the one-time framing up. That was a trade I liked. The one trade that didn't work out, and the reason I took it, so F started coming down. I thought the odds of taking out the low of the day, but fading it was going to be the play. And the reason I'm saying that, we were ready. Well, I'm not sure if we were up here yet, but we were already 5 for 5 wide. Now, F stopped one-time framing up from E period. Now, the ES never did, but we did. So when it took out E's low, came back a little bit. I took a short, took some off. I mean, it was a small trade, but I really, really thought the odds of us taking out the low, my main goal was to get long because I thought the sellers had nothing in the tank anymore. We're 5 for 5 wide. They already blew a chance for single prints. The volume was horrible, so I was looking to fade it. But I thought I might as well take a short ride down before I get long. Well, lo and behold, F just traded back up, went 6 for 6. I got out of the rest of it. I mean, it was a small loss, but that was a trade I took. Then I took 3 more short trades on the day. G came up, took out the opening, took a short, came back in. That worked very nicely. Then just the way I was looking to fade the low here, when H made a new high, I faded that. But not right away. H took out A's high. As soon as we got back into A's range, I took a short. And then between H and I held it. Came in, I took some off, came back up, put some on. I continued to do that. I period opened, couldn't get above G's high, took more. And I did it back and forth until we finally got to the POC and I took the whole trade off. So that was by far my best trade of the day in H and I. I really call that one trade because I was always continually in it, taking off, adding on until I finally took it all off around POC. I period for the ES is an afternoon pullback low, really. We're not because we made a new low in F period, obviously, and that's just too close to the low. Then the SPY and the ES got a little funky for my liking. J went back up, made a new high. K never even came back inside the initial balance. We're one time framing up. L made a high. We had single prints. Now, the indices were all still down. I didn't think the market was just going to go, rip and turn green on the day. But I thought the odds would be very good for filling the gap. I actually did. You know what? I lied. I took a small long here, which I lost on because I took it to see if we just filled the gap. It was like a 10 contract. We started coming down. I got out of it. And then I did nothing. The rest of L or M. M period was pretty subdued for M period. And we go out basically at half back, basically at that 278 level. So who won the day? Yeah, we're down 2%. But just like Monday, sellers weren't getting anything. Well, Monday we had that reversal where we really ripped up from the lows. Today we finished basically in the middle. Sellers got cut off. So now we're in a 4-day balance. All right, destinations for tomorrow. Upside will be today's high of 279.59 and filling the gap at 279.91. 32-point gap. Then we have 284.90, yesterday's high. We're going to stop at that. I'm not going to give you any more than 284.90. You should have some of the other ones I had written down, given you in the other days. For the downside, we have today's POC at 277.18. That's C's high. Then we have today's low of 275.46. 273.47, 11 wide from the 13th, and 272.45, afternoon pullback low from the 13th. Here's the POC, here's the afternoon pullback low. And then 271.41, a daily low. And then now let's go to the charts. So monthly, right? One time framing down, we're exactly halfway through the month, and look where it's closed at. Exactly on that trend line. So you know who's trading this market, right? Again, long-term sellers or buyers would not care about that at all. Short-term traders do. So we're right at it. Very interesting. Weekly. Hopefully you're going to be able to see this 287 line a little better. I put it in yellow. We are one time framing up for 3 weeks, not including this week. We're back inside, obviously, last week's range. We got up yesterday to 284.90. Again, are we going to ever test that 287 level? Remains to be seen, but we are one time framing up. So we're still up in the weekly. And then in the daily, we went from balance to up yesterday, back to balance today. The gap is my main focus to the upside. 4-day balance. Yesterday's high of 284.90 is the top of the balance. Monday's low of 271.41 is the low of the balance. So we have a $13.50 range. It's pretty good. We have a $13.50 4-day balance. And we closed almost in the middle of it. So the question is, since the sellers were weak Are we going to fill this gap and test the top of the balance tomorrow? Or since we held the gap, are we going to go lower and test the low of it? 50-day moving average continues to move down right around 287.60, 50, around there. So pretty soon it's going to be I have a feeling we're going to get to that 287 level and on both sides of the equation, the 50 and up at the weekly, and see how it tests out. But anyway, for now, 4-day balance. I hope you guys had a great day trading. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.